Everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the 5-game NBA slate for tonight. All the games are starting between 7 and 7:30, so it'll be a quick night if you're on the East Coast, not too much of a late night in terms of sweating some lineups out and stuff. So let's get into it. Then we have Week 17 tomorrow. I'll probably have a video out later today for that. We know Week 17 is super crazy for football, but try my best to kind of at least try to gather my thoughts for that slate. So let's get into this video. As always, appreciate if you guys hit the like button down below, subscribe if you haven't already. See if we can get 200 plus likes on the video. Yesterday, it was super low scoring in cash because there were some blowout games, especially that Washington game getting blown out, and then the Bucks game got blown out as well. But able to make it over the cash line and double up. So looking forward to today. See if we can get that GPPs going as well. So let's get into it. If you want updates throughout the day, you can follow on Twitter at the DFS Process. Check out the website if you want to join. Links in description. And let's get started here. We'll go game by game. Have some injury news potentially on the slate. Some guys maybe be rested on a back-to-back, like Clint Capella. John Collins, maybe one of those two guys, but we'll see. Hopefully we get that news pretty early this afternoon. First game, we have the Knicks and the Pacers. The Knicks, hopefully they can get Alec Burks back because they just need some offense. Just looking at how bad they've been shooting the basketball recently, they need Alec Burks back and need him back quickly against this Pacers team. Hopefully he returns. I think if he does play, $5,400 for him would be probably my favorite play on the Knicks side. I think he looks better than RJ Barrett, who just cannot find the hoop right now. 4 of 19, 4 of 15, 7 of 17, 2 of 15. He went 0 of 8, 0 of 3, 0 of 4, 0 of 6 from distance. Like, dude just can't shoot right now. Wasn't a great shooter last season, and even though he's playing so many minutes, if Burks is back, I'd go to Burks. If Burks is out, then I might just pain myself with Barrett one more time because 65 is still a nice price tag for a guy that's playing 37, 38 minutes. Even in blowouts, he's played 37 and 38, so minutes are super secure for him. Just needs to have a good shooting game just because super bad. The rebounds are there, which is nice to see as well. So potentially could be a sneaky candidate for like a 15, 9, and 4 game assist wise. So I think Barrett looks okay. That's just going to be dependent on Burks. If Burks is in, I'd much rather go with Alec Burks. And then Julius Randle is $9,100 against this Pacers front court with Sabonis and Miles Turner. It's a tough matchup. Price tag is expensive. He definitely has the tournament upside, but I will not be playing Randle at 91. Once we get to some of the other price tags on the slate, I just think he's kind of priced himself out. Like, I'd rather go to Sabonis, $300 more. I'd rather go to, we'll get to Drummond, we'll get to Vucevic, we'll get to Embiid in the later games. But in this game, center-wise, like, Sabonis is the guy that I want. Turner looks okay, and then Mitchell Robinson, I don't think I'll get to him, even though 54 is a nice price tag, but the matchup isn't super easy. Like, 2 7-footers. Turner is also not going to draw a lot of fouls, but Mitchell Robinson does foul like crazy, and if he is guarding Turner, he's going to be by the 3-point line, which is not good for rebounding. So this first game, not too much interest in it, except for a couple of guys on the Pacers side, I think. And the main guy is Victor Oladipo, is only $6,700. He's my favorite play based on price tag from the Pacers side. His price tag is pretty fair considering that Warren is out for indefinite amount of time. That's going to benefit Oladipo. He's just going to be able to take more shots. He's already been filling up the stat sheet this season, averaging 5 and 5 assists and rebounds. Shoots the ball well. Last game he shot poorly, but before that, 56, 67, 64% shooting. Even in some blowouts, he played 25 and 28. This game happens to stay close. You'll see 34, 35 minutes for Oladipo, and 67 is just probably the best price tag on the Pacers right now. I would like to consider like Doug McDermott, but he's 49, so he's not like a must play. And then they also did price up Justin Holiday, so I don't think I'll have too much interest unless we don't have any other value that opens up. Second game, we have OKC and Orlando. OKC was pretty bad last game. They only scored 80 points against a fast-paced Pelicans team. They got blown out. SGA was poor, and if he doesn't have a good game, then they just have no hope of winning, no hope of staying in the game. He only shot 30% from the floor last game. He's still been filling it up assist and rebound-wise to start the season. He's $7,900. The price tag is nice. The matchup is not the easiest one. Orlando is very good defensively. There's not too much interest I have in this game. You could look to some value plays potentially, like Diallo is only $3,900. Minutes around 18 to 22. He can easily pay off a $3,900 salary, so he's one value play to consider potentially in this game. Another one is just dependent on if Fournier is going to play or not. If he's out, then you can look to like Michael Carter Williams, $4,100. You could look to Cole Anthony at 46. They did price up those guys up a little bit more to kind of account for the fact that Fournier might not play. And then you could obviously go to Ross if you wanted to. But this game, two not very good offenses, and then especially two teams that don't play super fast either. There's nothing that jumps off the page right now. I do like Vucevic at center at 87, but I think there's some other games that I do like. Third game, we have Charlotte and Philly. This one is in Philly, Sixers. Charlotte is on a back-to-back. Hopefully, they got blown out by the Grizzlies yesterday. The Sixers are at home, where even though they don't have home court, there's nobody in the stands. They still are really good in Philly. Hopefully, this game stays close because I do like a couple pieces in it. First guy I do like on the Charlotte side is LaMelo Ball's been playing great basketball. He's stealing some minutes away from Devontae Graham, who's struggling, and from like Rozier, who was in foul trouble a couple days ago. And he's just been playing great. He deserves to be out there on the floor, and they're going to give him minutes. If he's playing well, there's no reason why they won't give him minutes. He's played 27 and 29 the last two. Last game he was out there. He was the reason that they were able to stick in the game in the second quarter and keep it close. He just has so much upside because not only will he shoot the ball a ton, he gets assists, gets rebounds, and does a little bit of everything at $5,500. I think he looks like a really solid play compared to $7,000 for Rozier. 63 for Devontae Graham, who's been struggling, 1 of 10, 3 of 8, 5 of 15, 4 of 16 shooting to start. The minutes have decreased the last couple. And if Ball keeps playing the way he is, it won't be long before Devontae Graham resorts to being a sixth man off the bench. You like Ball at 55. I think he can definitely pay that salary off. On the Sixers side, I like Tobias quite a bit at 7,300. He gives you good scoring, good rebound numbers, even playing next to Embiid. This last season, it was tough for him to get a lot of rebounds because not only was he playing next to Embiid, but he was playing next to Al Horford, playing the small forward position last season, but now he's power forward. So gets a lot more rebounding opportunities, gets the ball in better position. So he started off the season shooting the ball great, 53, 55, 50, 50% shooting. Last 4 games, minus that first game in Washington. But he's been consistent. He only played 27 minutes in a blowout, but was on pace for another 40-point outing last time out. And against Charlotte, nothing really scares me about this matchup defensively. You have Embiid is 10K, Simmons is over 9K, so I do like Tobias to get a piece of the Sixers, and you don't have to break the bank for it. So looking at Tobias, I have power forward at 73. Then for value purposes, Danny Green just been so bad, I just can't recommend him, but he's still playing decent minutes for the Sixers. Played 18 in a blowout, 29, 18, 28. So hopefully this is the day that he plays 28. Still doesn't give you a ton of upside because, man, he just doesn't get a ton of shots on the Sixers team. It definitely is. I wish we could have jumped on Seth Curry earlier in the season. First couple games, now he's up to 56. So he's been pretty expensive. Like, he's been around this price tag the entire season, but back when he was like 49, low 5Ks, I think he was a much better play. 56 is kind of pushing it. So I won't be interested there. And Shake Milton is a potential guy that you can look to. A low-owned piece off the bench. No Korkmaz for a few weeks, so he's getting a lot more run off the bench, so he looks solid. And that is pretty much it. Like, Hayward has been poor the past couple games. I'm not that thrilled about it. And this one, Bridges and Washington, I'd rather go to Washington at 55, but he's another guy that gets into foul trouble at times. And against Embiid, against Tobias, against Simmons, guys that like to drive, it's a little bit scary that he'll be able to avoid fouls again. So, moving on to Cleveland, Atlanta, this is looking like the best game to target, mainly from both sides. Potentially a lot from the Cleveland side with the injuries, and then maybe even more from the Hawks side if a couple guys are out on a back-to-back. Starting off here at point guard, I love Darius Garland here at 6,000. Just really nice price tag for Garland, playing huge minutes for them. They started Dante Exum last game, but it didn't really hurt Garland or Sexton. Both guys continue to lead the Cavs, and they will continue to do so without Kevin Love in scoring. You still have Drummond, who's been a force offensively and defensively this season. We'll get to him. He's at a really good price tag. But I really like Garland. 6K, doesn't need much hit value compared to 71 for Sexton. I think Garland looks to be the better point per dollar play. At center wise here, we have Drummond at 9,200. I think he looks awesome here. Is my favorite center of the day. Last time out against Pacers, got into foul trouble early in the game. They weren't able to score a ton of points. They got blown out at the end, but still was solid with another double-double. He's just been racking them up. Racking up a ton of blocks and steals, which is great to see. And he's playing big minutes in close games. So against the Atlanta team that plays fast, be a lot of rebounding opportunities, potential for block shots. And I think Drummond looks just so good at averaging 51 fantasy points at only $9,200. And then on the Atlanta side, if Capella happens to play today, that would be such a nice play at 5,200. That would be like a slam dunk play. Played 30 minutes yesterday, so I don't know if he'll play on a back-to-back. But if he does happen to play, then he's definitely going to be in my lineup at 5,200. That is just such a smash play against Cleveland. Matches up well against Drummond. Both guys don't leave the paint, so both guys will be able to get a ton of rebounds. So you can kind of get that kind of correlation. And Capella at 52 will probably get you a double-double if he does play today. So he's a guy to look at on the Hawks side. They did price up Herter and Hunter. Well, not Herter. They did price up Hunter. They did price up Reddish. So I'm not that interested in them. And then Trae Young is 10 too, so I won't be playing Trae Young today. And then last game, we have the Raptors and the Pelicans. Raptors surprised everybody by just announcing Siakam was not available to play like 10 minutes before the game started. And it kind of messed up everybody's lineups, had to do a lot of scrambling. But still, I think he still looks like a good play, 8,300 for him. Getting huge minutes for him. They did get that win against the Knicks the other day, but they still started the season 1-3, and they need another win here against the Pelicans. So I do think Siakam looks okay on the Raptors side. Lowry is 8K, Van Fleet 77. Kind of price where they should be. I think none of them stick out tremendously right now, unless they happen to rest or they happen to rule out Siakam for another day. But seems like he'll play today, but we'll see about that. And then on the Pelicans side, we have Ingram, who 2 games have been blowouts. 1 game they did blow out the OKC, and then the Suns, they got blown out, so he was limited 26 and 28 minutes. But he's been racking up the fantasy points this season. He looks solid at 81. And then Zion is down to 7,800. He only played I think he played like 8 minutes or something in the first half. And he only had 2 fouls. I don't know what was happening in that game, but they didn't really need to play him that much because they won by 23, or they won by 33. This game should be closer, but it's also a tougher matchup defensively. Raptors good defense. I don't think anybody's a must play in this game. I think everybody's kind of priced where they should be. And that is kind of it for the 5-game breakdown for DraftKings. We'll probably get a lot of news, so keep an eye on Twitter. I'll keep you guys updated. And let's jump over to Fanduel and see what we like over there. All right, on Fanduel here, starting off at point guard, we have Young as 97, so he looks a lot better than he does on DraftKings. He's in play. Simmons is 86. I mean, I'd rather go to Trae Young, I think, at $1,100 more, but Simmons is in play against Charlotte. Garland is kind of priced out on 75. I'm not that interested in that price tag. Same thing with Rozier. You could look to Brogdon. You could look to Ball. I like Fultz a lot at 58. He's been playing well, getting good minutes for them, except for that last game where they got crushed by the Sixers. But 32, 32, 37 fantasy points. In the previous outings, he's playing around 31 minutes in close games. So definitely you can look to him if you want at 5,800. And then you can also look to LaMelo Ball is down to 53. I think he looks solid. Shake Milton is down to 44. And then if they don't happen to have Fournier in this game, you could look to Cole Anthony / MCW. I think Anthony gives you more upside because he's going to shoot a little bit more. It's only 4K, so he's in play. Right now I'm going with LaMelo Ball because I'm not sure if I'll play Fultz or maybe take a shot on one of these value plays if Fournier's out on the Magic side. But I do like Ball today. I'm expecting another good game against the Sixers. It's been playing great. I like what he brings to the floor, and it seemed like they want to have him out there, and he's been playing well to deserve it. So 53 is a really good price tag. Shooting guard, you have Oladipo at 72, who I like. I like SGA, I guess, at 8,200. Disappointing last game, so I'm still kind of mad at him about it. Burks is 62. If he plays, still we'll see if he's a little bit limited off the bench, but I think he looks better on Draftkings at 55. I really like Sexton here. Garland is 75. Sexton is 68. On DraftKings, their price tags are flipped, basically. But Sexton gives you a ton of upside just because he shoots a lot and he scores. Doesn't give you a lot of peripheral stats, but can get you some assists. But really, the scoring is there. Every game so far this season, he scored at least 20 points. He's playing huge minutes, 36, 40. 36 was even in a 20-point loss last game against Indiana. And even left that game partially with a little bit of a hobbled leg, but he came back a couple minutes later. So I think Sexton at 68 looked really nice to get a piece of this game. You could also go to Oladipo at 72. And then if you need some value plays at this position, you could look to Bledsoe at 46, even though it pains me to say that. Bledsoe is in play still. Diallo as a complete punt play at 39. And then that's kind of it. Small forward, we have Ingram at 9K. I'm just not that interested at that price tag. I'd rather go to Tobias Hayward based on the price tags. Barrett is 59, even though he cannot shoot right now. It'll be tough to completely ignore him at that price tag. And then you have a nice cheap price tag on Hunter is 46. He looks solid. If Capella's in, he still looks fine, but if Capella's out, that helps him a little bit more, moving down a position in the starting lineup. And then Chetty Osman, 42, just can't shoot right now. Well, last couple games has been able to shoot, so not playing a lot. They even benched him not benched him, but they kind of put him back on the bench instead of starting him in place of Exum. We'll see what they do today against a decently big Atlanta team, depending on Capella. And then Holiday is 39. You can definitely play him if you need a cheap play. But right now, I like to buy a 72 on both sides, expecting another good game out of him. 40 fantasy points, hopefully today. Power forward, you have a ton of options. You have Collins, Siakam, Randall, Williamson, and Sabonis. Sabonis is priced a lot higher than all the rest. I like Siakam a lot. The price tag just looked really nice at 78. Randall also looks solid at 8,000. And John Collins, if Capella's out, that would be like a smash play. If Capella's in, he still looks solid at 7K. He's been playing better the last couple games. Looks like he has his confidence back. And then you have Doug McDermott at $4,000. Gonna see good minutes because there's no TJ Warren. He played 25 last game. Even when Warren was healthy, he's played 19, 27, 22, 28. So he can be in line for like 25 to 30 minutes today, and he can shoot off the bench, 4,000. Looks like a decent value option. Right now, I'm going with Siakam just with the minutes that he's getting. And it's a really good matchup against the Pelicans in terms of pace. So plug him in there. And then center, you have Drummond and Embiid. Both guys are pretty closely priced. You have Capella at 61 if he plays. I like that salary a lot. And Vucevic is 84. So really, I'm kind of between Drummond, Vucevic, and Capella right now. Embiid is always in play, but I think Drummond, just with the blocks and steals that he brings onto the table on Fanduel, it's just really nice that you're getting a guy that has so many blocks and steal upside, so much block and steal upside. Embiid does it as well, but Drummond has just been on another level. 6 blocks in one game. He had 27 of his 64 fantasy points came from blocks and steals 2 days ago against the Knicks, or 2 games ago against the Knicks. Just gives you a lot of upside in that category. And it's against an Atlanta team, a team that loves to turn the ball over and will be super fast, so you kind of get some of those extra possessions. So that is it for the breakdown. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and best of luck.